Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Ask Tari. Today we're going to be talking about how to get a scholarship to study in Canada as an international student. So I've been getting this question a lot, and up until now I didn't really have a lot of information about scholarships in Canada. Like everybody else, I really thought that it was a difficult process. It is a difficult process, but I have found somebody with a testimony. I have someone, a Zimbabwean, who can actually tell us what she did and how she managed to get a scholarship at a university in Canada. So without saying too much, I'm just gonna post the video right after this, and then after that we'll summarize on what she would have said. Okay, right. So today we have Melissa, who has recently moved to Canada as an international student, and she has quite the testimony for us. She's going to give us an account of how she did it. I have a lot of questions for Manu. Imagine now sitting a feedback from the horse's mouth. She's going to tell us how she managed to move to Canada as an international student with a scholarship. So, Melissa, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Terry. I'm not sure am I supposed to use English only, or I'm allowed to
you can mix English and Shona, but try to keep it mainly English because we might have an audience who don't speak Shona.
Okay, it's okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Terry, for this platform. It's been a journey, guys, to be honest. It takes time and it takes dedication and preparation, but it's possible. So I started off in 2019 December. I just came across Tari's videos, and I liked how she was sort of opening up, giving us information. Then I figured out that most of the information was mainly from her experience as well, because I think she used Express Entry. Then I figured out, I tried to do my research, and then I figured out that for me, Express Entry was not going to be the easiest because I had no sort of work experience that was pretty diverse. So I said, okay, it's okay. Let me just look for a scholarship or study permit route. So I went online, I looked for my designated learning institutions for my master's. Although I had done a first master's, I was like, okay, let me just go for a master's because I wasn't prepared to work on a PhD proposal. So I went for another master's. The first thing I did was to look for institutions that are designated, designated learning institutions, because I knew those would be the ones that could allow an outsider to move to Canada with a study permit.
So the first step is to find a designated
learning institution. Yeah. So if you go online, if you just Google designated learning institution,
okay,
you come across a number of those. And thanks to a friend of mine, he's from Ghana, is the one who told me about that one. So I did that, and I figured I had three options for like the programs that I wanted to do. Then I just look for a specific institution that might fit my background and that is likely to have sort of a scholarship, because I didn't want to waste money on applying for the big institution that I couldn't really afford to spend so much money for. And then I went on the school. It's a trick anyone else could literally use, but you really need to sort of be patient. You go on the website, the mass schools are called, the financing options, because they usually have that as part of their websites. On their websites, you look for finance options or funding options. If you hit search button, it's most likely going to pop up with some information. So I was lucky enough to come across a New Brunswick University. Then I figured out that institution had more internal bursaries. That was the challenge. Most of them have bursaries, but like they are more of internal. So you have to be part of the school system first before they can sort of give you more. Well, I think it could be different with other institutions, but from my experience,
Okay.
it was better with that school because I figured some other schools had more of internal bursaries. That is for a master's, but for PhD, it's a bit different because PhD students have more. If I can say, like, most schools are open to fund PhD students, unlike a master's.
Okay.
So for me, I had to sort of go around the websites, and I figured out that these internal bursaries means I have to be part of the school system first. That meant if I was going to be accepted, I needed to accept the offer first and then get sort of enrolled or otherwise. But I was like, okay, I don't know as much so far. All I know is this school has quite a potential of more bursaries that I could fit into or that I could apply for. So the strength that I had, or maybe the lucky, I had the courage to reach out to the program coordinator of my specific program. Yeah, that's one thing I've also learned over the course, that you know what, you won't get to know information if you don't ask. So it's better to be embarrassed with a feedback which is rude, which normally never happens. So the best way is give that email address that they give you, or call if you can. So I emailed the program coordinator, the director of my program, and I was like, hey, can you kindly advise me? I'm really interested in this program. I really don't want to miss out on this opportunity, but I'm also confused on how I'll be able to get funding, because I'm very sure that I will not be able to fund myself for the tuition and everything else. And they were kind enough. They were like, okay, it's okay. Normally, we don't offer scholarships, but if you have checked our website, we have like internal bursaries and whatever. So you could accept, or you, after your application, if you're accepted, you could reach out to those scholarships who will help you out, apply on those ones. So I was like, it's okay, but like, what are the possibilities? Is there something that I could also sort of look towards, which is not just these bursaries? Because I had noticed that the bursaries that were advertised did not have as much money that would fund my my program. So I was like, okay, could you help me? Like, could you be so kind to sort of hint me on other funding opportunities, which may not be on the website or which may not be popular? How can one go about if she's so keen? And she was like, okay, hey, let me tell you what happens. Here, the thing is, we don't normally do that, but if there's a need for funding, or if there's a case that really needs funding, we as a department can sort of look out through your CV, see if you made it, then we can find something as a department, then fund. So right now, we can't promise you anything. You just need to go through the admissions first and everything else. So I did that, and I luckily got accepted. Then they gave me 10% off tuition. That was the scholarship, sort of the opportunity that I got. I was like, okay. The director told me that it can be possible. So I was like, okay, but I got this 10% offer. So how could you advise me? Because the thing is, I learned it's better off to ask for advice rather than to ask for the direct thing you need. So if you need funding, don't ask for funding. Ask for advice on ways to get that funding. That was the trick. So I was like, okay, could you advise me like what I can do right now, because I'm really stuck. I don't want to lose on this, but I also am sure that I will not afford to pay for the tuition with the 10% off. And then she was like, okay, it's okay. I don't know, but I would advise you just take the offer and then you can negotiate from there. So that's how it turned out. I accepted the 10% offer, and then I reached out to the department. I was like, I wrote my letter of interest. I told them my background. I told them where I've been, how I've turned out with studies, and where I've been working. And then I was like, would you be kind enough to consider me for any funding opportunities that might be readily available for students within your department or within the grad students association? And then they took some time. It took me about 2 months to negotiate the whole process. So you really need to have your things planned out with patience as well. Then after 2 months, they're like, okay, hey, we give you 50% offer. I was like, it's okay. It's okay. That's good. So that moment really gave me more courage to keep pressing because I really could not afford to take care of
Yeah.
my family. And then these living expenses that would be needed as part of the study permit requirements. So I was like, it's okay, God, I'm going to take this. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but like I've already accepted, so I'm going to keep pressing, and I did. Fortunately, my supervisor was kind of interested in the diligence that I showed, so I kept asking for advice, for funding opportunities. Like the whole department ended up knowing me, and like that helped. So that helped. They ended up giving my full tuition for the first year. So it really turned out well for everyone. Like in my class, we are just 6 students from different parts of the world, but I'm the only African student and the only in the class. So I think that also helped for diversity. So they were like, okay, hi guys, we have decided as a department to offer everyone a first year tuition waiver. So that was how
Wow.
it turned out. Yes, that's how I got to have this funded scholarship. So the second year, I'm not worried about that. I don't want to give myself stress. I know it to turn out well for as long as I maintain my grades, because they told me that it's based upon how I perform. If I have like A's only as my grades, then it's most likely that I might get second year
Wow.
scholarships. So guys, this is my story. Whoever is interested in this, I just want you to keep pressing on, but do as much research as you can, and don't be afraid to reach out. There's a reason why these institutions give their details, like their email details, their phone details. Reach out, be it to the admissions team, be it to the funding or finance department or your department, but like keep asking questions, keep asking for advice. That's just how it turned out for me. So that's how it worked. I only had to work on my cost of living expenses. Then everything else was provided for. So they gave me all the required letters to support and everything. Then I applied for my permit, and it didn't take a month, to be honest, because I submitted my application on the 30th of November,
Yeah.
and on the third of December, I was invited for biometrics. Luckily, I didn't have to do medical reports, maybe because I was coming from Europe, but I didn't have to do that. So I was invited on the 3rd of December for for my biometrics, and I got an appointment for the 7th of December, which I did, and by the 13th they had accepted my study permit, and I had my permit in hand by the 16th of December. So I had to like take my time to process how I was going to transition from Europe to Canada. But like, this is my journey, guys. And thanks, Daddy, for your information. It's so rare to come across people who are willing to share such information. And I just want to say this has been an inspiration, and my journey started off with you. So thanks so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Melissa. This was a very, very inspiring story. You reminded me of that Bible story of the persistent widow. Keep on pressing
Amen.
and pressing and pressing. And look, you even became a miracle worker, a way maker for the rest of your class.
You see, yeah, that was my story. I was like, God, I'm not going to let go of this opportunity, because I said, if I'm going to make it, then allow me to get accepted to an institution. That was my first challenge with God. I prayed, to be honest, I'm a prayerful person. So whatever it is that you believe in, guys, make that work. That's how it worked. If you believe in God, then just do that. If you don't, then whatever it is that you believe in, but have that faith and keep on trying. It will turn out.
And one other question. I know people are going to have this question. Your
Mhm.
study permit, does it allow you to work as you are studying?
Yes, so my study permit it stated two things. It said I'm allowed to work both on campus or off campus, depending on what I get. So, yeah, it
Okay.
does. Yeah, but let me say something about that. Because I had done my research, I knew what I wanted. I had to convince my supervisor to sort of help me out with a letter that stated clearly that I was expected to take sort of lab courses So that meant I needed to work on campus, and I also asked her for clarification in the letter that I'm also expected to do sort of internships. So that helped out. So if you have a supervisor who's that understanding, or if your department is so understanding, then let them clarify that as part of your documentation, because the VOs will go through all that stuff, and that will help out in their recommendation and whatever. So that's just how it turned out. But like, be as communicative as you can be, ask as many questions. I'm sure they'll be happy to answer and help.
Oh, you know, the one thing that I like the most about you is that you did your research and you went on the internet, you looked for schools, you found the program that you wanted, you applied, you inquired, you asked.
It's true.
And that's one thing I'm always encouraging people. Someone can show you the direction. Someone can point an arrow and say, this is what you can do. But the rest is upon you to go and do your research. And look at you now. I hope a lot of people watching this are going to be inspired, and they're going to persevere, and surely they can get these scholarships. Because up till you spoke to me and told me your story, I was beginning to think it was nearly impossible to get a scholarship. But thank God, my eyes have been opened too.
That's the thing, guys. You see, most people know to a certain level because everyone tells their story according to how it happened. But everyone's story is different. So the rest is upon whoever is applying to do the rest of the research. See, the person who helped me out with the idea of applying for, say, scholarships in Canada just told me to do a PhD application, but I wasn't ready for a PhD, see? But it still didn't hold me back. I was like, okay, I can't do the express entry like Tari advised. I can't also do the PhD entry, but I still need to do this. So I had to go around, look for MA programs that fit in well with my background, and I had to go the extra mile to ask questions, see? So I had to ask around, ask what's possible, if it's possible at all, and then I got advice and links and directions. That's how you get information. So don't sleep on it. Don't rely on someone's information because it might be limited. Go the extra mile, keep searching, keep asking, watch as many videos as you can. I also got help like by watching, there's a guy called Noel Abingwa. I don't know if you know him. He's from Cameroon. Noel Abingwa.
Okay, I'm not familiar.
Yeah. He's a Cameroonian. He specializes his videos on study permit applications because his story was like he got rejected 5 times, and then on the 6th trial he got accepted. So he had quite an experience with that. That also helped. So watch as many videos as you can, do as much research as you can on your own, and ask as much as you can to whoever you can reach out to. That's the importance of a research lab, because it really takes time, and you really need to sort of have your to-do list, know what you want to have, what's expected of you to do. If you have questions, find someone. There's always someone to answer your questions. So look for the gray areas that you still need to research on, or that you need answers on. Look for someone who can answer that question for you, or who can direct you towards that. But like, it's possible.
Wow.
That's just
Thank you so much, Melissa. I'm very confident that you'll be very successful in Canada, and I'm pretty sure that the school, they know you by name now. I'm pretty sure you will get a PhD placement. I can see that the future is going to be very bright for you, and I thank you so much. And can people reach out to you? Are you comfortable with people reaching out to you?
Yeah, let me give out my Instagram name instead. I think I'm more comfortable on Instagram.
Okay.
So my handle is mel.ru.chi.
Okay, it's no problem. I'll put that in the video description so that whoever wants to contact you.
I'll also send it over to you so that you have it, and then you can share it.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you. I hope we'll have you again on the channel with some other things you want to tell us about Canada. I'm pretty sure we'll learn a lot from you. Thank you so much.
For having me. And thanks to your patience and your love to share this information. It really helps. See, this is a testimony already. So keep doing what you do the best.
Thank you,
And may
Melissa.
God
And
bless
welcome to Canada, by the way.
you. Thank you. I'm excited.
All right. Okay, bye.
Bye.
That was a very informative and insightful story from Melissa, and I thank her very much for coming onto the channel to share her story about how she moved here as an international student and how she managed to get funding from the school. From the story, I think what I've mainly learned is that you need to be proactive. You need to do your research and you need to be very persistent. She, from a 10% discount, she managed to get the whole year exempted from fees. I mean, that's amazing. And I really pray that someone who was watching was inspired and they will try by all means to get themselves a funded scholarship. I hope that next time we'll have someone coming in and saying they got a fully funded scholarship for the whole duration of their study. So the key points I noted from Melissa's story was that first, you need to apply to a designated learning institution, which is a school approved by a provincial or territorial government. So it has to be a school that takes international students, right? And the two, you need to, once you go in the schools, you choose a school you want with the program that you want, you then need to go and look at their financing options, right? So they might have different financing options, bursaries, scholarships for students. And one thing I noted was that for some schools, you need to actually be admitted at the school. You need to have applied to a program, been admitted, and then you can negotiate with them. I also learned that you need to reach out to the program director of your program and just speak to them, negotiate, talk to them. Tell them your circumstances, tell them where you're coming from, tell them your ambitions and your goals. Show them that you really want this. You really want to come and make a difference and study in Canada, and you surely get the scholarship. So I hope you guys learned a lot from today's video. If there's anyone else who would like to come onto the channel and share with us their story of how they moved to Canada, please message me. You can leave a message in the comment section, or you can find me on Twitter at Tariwema Dimples, and we'll discuss further. If you like this video, please like the channel, like the video, subscribe and share. See you next time.